tensions were evident around the issue of Brexit, but both of them stressed the special relationship between the two countries. Across the UK, thousands have taken to the streets to protest against the visit, accusing President Trump of spreading hatred. As we've just been discussing, 3 days before Donald Trump meets Vladimir Putin, the US Justice Department has charged Russian intelligence officials with meddling in the US election. And another big story here in the UK, British police have found a bottle of the nerve agent Novichok at the house of Charlie Rowley, who was poisoned last month. So let's have a look at more of the pictures coming to us from Prestwick Airport, just outside of Glasgow, because Air Force One has landed and we're just waiting to see Melania Trump and Donald Trump step off the plane. From there, they're going to be brought to Turnberry, which is where I'm talking to you from. This is a golf course and resort owned by the Trump organisation. They bought it in 2014, and as we know, because the president goes to, for instance, Mar-a-Lago in Florida a lot, he likes to stay at his own properties. His son Eric described Turnberry as his favourite property, as in his father's favourite property. So Donald Trump would have needed no persuading to add Turnberry to his itinerary after Windsor and Blenheim and Chequers and of course NATO in Brussels before then. There's the door. It's very, very familiar. We've seen Donald Trump and Melania Trump stepping off that in a range of different places since the president took office. This is in fact the 18th country that he's visited, while Theresa May was the first foreign leader to visit the White House after Donald Trump took office. The UK is the 18th which he's visited, and initially there was that offer of a state visit from Theresa May, but in the end it was turned into a working visit that at times has looked like the state visit. And there's the president waving. Not entirely clear who will be welcoming the president at Prestwick Airport. Certainly we're not expecting big crowds of people to turn up for this. A little bit earlier I took a wander around Turnberry as best as you can, because there are police checkpoints all around this resort, but you could go right up to the golf course, and it was interesting that one scaffold had been built in the middle of the fairway, and initially I thought it was a TV scaffold, but actually it was a scaffold constructed by US security, and on the top two levels of this scaffold were men with guns sitting on tripods, and it's almost certain that President Trump would play golf at least once, maybe even twice while he's here at Turnberry, and there are lots of efforts being made to ensure that he's safe when he's doing that. Off the coast there was also a police boat and a smaller boat attached to it which was coming into the shore as well. So as you'd imagine, for a visit of the American president, all the security precautions are being taken in advance of his arrival. I was though being told by a colleague from BBC Scotland earlier, there's still a wedding going on in the Turnberry Hotel, so we know at Mar-a-Lago in Florida the president's been known to mingle with the guests. It'll be interesting to see if he arrives at that wedding reception as a very unusual guest. We'll have to see if that happens. But of course, while there are no scheduled events for the president, he has plenty to consider. It's been an important visit to NATO, a difficult and important visit here in the UK. There's been more political drama than you get in an average month packed into today, starting with that big Sun scoop, an interview with the president in which he criticised Theresa May's approach to Brexit. Then we had the press conference at Chequers where he said he hadn't criticised the Prime Minister, although there's a tape with him criticising the Prime Minister. But they seem to be getting on a lot better, certainly better than you might expect after that Sun interview. And from there it was to visit the Queen at Windsor Castle, and then to Stansted Airport to get on Air Force One and to come up here. And when the President gets to where I am standing, he is going to be greeted with the most glorious view. The sun is gently going down over the sea off the west coast of Scotland, off Ayrshire, and the view, I'm guessing, from the five-star hotel behind me is going to be spectacular. But the President, as I say, will not just be playing golf, he'll be preparing for this hugely important meeting in Helsinki with Vladimir Putin, talking about preparing for that summit, which lots and lots of people are watching, partly because of these new indictments that I've just been talking to Anthony about, partly because there are many questions, aren't there, about President Trump's relationship with Russia. Well, next here on BBC News, let me play you more of what we've seen today.
I said to that paper, The Sun, and they seem like two very nice people, but I said that Theresa May is one of them's nice, but I said...
She's sitting here.
Oh, good. Where is that person? Where? Did I say nice things about Theresa May, please? Oh, good? Okay, if you reported them, that's good. Okay, where? On the internet? I said very good things. Thank you very much for saying that. No, I said very good things about her. I didn't think they put it in, but that's all right. They didn't put it in the headline. I wish they put that in the headline. That's one of those things. And she's a total professional, because when I saw her this morning, I said, I want to apologize because I said such good things about you. She said, don't worry, it's only the press.
Well, there are a number of explosive elements of that interview with The Sun. One was when President Trump said he thought Boris Johnson, who of course has just resigned, could make an excellent Prime Minister. That inevitably came up in the press conference too.
Well, Boris, the President...
I'll respond. They said unrelated, not related to... If we have the tape, you can ask Sarah, get it from Sarah. We taped the entire interview. They asked about Boris Johnson. I said, yeah, how would he be as a Prime Minister? I said, he'll be a great Prime Minister. He's been very nice to me. He's been saying very good things about me as President. I think he thinks I'm doing a great job. I am doing a great job, that I can tell you, just in case you haven't noticed. But Boris Johnson, I think, would be a great Prime Minister. I also said that this incredible woman right here is doing a fantastic job, a great job. And I mean that. And I must say that I have gotten to know Theresa May much better over the last 2 days than I've known her over the last year and a half. I mean, we've spent more time in the last 2 days. Yesterday I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner with her. Then I said, what are we doing tomorrow, which is today? Oh, you're having breakfast and lunch with Theresa May. And I'm going to see you later on again. So, but I've actually gotten to know her better than ever. And I think she's a terrific woman. I think she's doing a terrific job. And that Brexit is a very tough situation. That's a tough deal between the borders and the entries into the countries and all of the things. So she's going to do the best. The only thing I ask is that she work it out so that we can have very even trade, because we do not have a fair deal with the European Union right now on trade. They treat the United States horribly, and that's going to change. And if it doesn't change, they're going to have to pay a very big price, and they know what that price is. So they're coming over on July 25th to see me, and hopefully we can work something out. But they have barriers that are beyond belief. Barriers where they won't take our farm products, they won't take many of our things, including our cars. They charge us tariffs on cars far greater than we charge them. As you know all these things. And last year, Theresa, we lost $151 billion with the European Union. So we can't have that. We're not going to have that any longer, okay? Thank you.
Now, before I play you what both of them said about Brexit, let's just remind ourselves of the chronology here. This press conference is taking place at Chequers. A week before at Chequers, Theresa May had gathered her cabinet to find an agreed position, a negotiating position on Brexit, which would then be given to the EU. We had agreement last Friday. Then on Sunday, the Brexit Secretary resigned. On Monday, the Foreign Secretary resigned. Through the week, there was increasing pressure from pro-Brexit MPs within the Conservative Party saying this just isn't going to work as a plan. The white paper was released by the government. It was criticised again by Brexiteers, saying this is a sellout, this is too closely aligned to the EU. And then Donald Trump gives an interview to The Sun in which he says, yes, this approach being advocated by Theresa May could kill off a new US-UK trade deal, the single biggest thing that was dominating Donald Trump's trip to the UK. That's the context. This is what we heard at the press conference.
I also want to thank Prime Minister May for pursuing fair and reciprocal trade with the United States. Once the Brexit process is concluded and perhaps the UK has left the EU, I don't know what they're going to do, but whatever you do is okay with me. That's your decision. Whatever you're going to do is okay with us. Just make sure we can trade together. That's all that matters. The United States looks forward to finalizing a great bilateral trade agreement with the United Kingdom. This is an incredible opportunity for our two countries, and we will seize it fully. We support the decision of the British people to realize full self-government, and we will see how that goes. Very complicated negotiation and not an easy negotiation, that's for sure.
Well, in the next few minutes, certainly within the next hour, Donald Trump and Melania Trump will arrive here in Turnberry on the west coast of Scotland, and of course we'll continue to bring you coverage of this extraordinary visit to the UK.
Ross, thank you very much. You're watching BBC News, our headlines tonight. President Trump has flown to Scotland tonight, where he's expected to spend the weekend at his Turnberry golf resort. The President lavished praise on Theresa May during a joint news conference just hours after criticisms of her Brexit proposals were published in the Sun newspaper. Tens of thousands have taken to the streets across the UK to protest against the visit, accusing President Trump of spreading hatred. And I think we're going to have a look at some sports news in a minute. The cameras are doing their own thing as usual. Ryan, would you like to tell me where you'd like me to go with this? Because I'm a little perplexed. We are going to carry on talking about President Trump. What else is there to talk about today? Well, Wimbledon, Novichok, all sorts of things, but we'll have to wait. Let's talk about the special relationship which has supposed to exist between the United States and the United